Hey guys, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and I'm actually in the great white north right now of Canada, but that is not why we are here. We are here today to talk about the news, and this tip actually comes from Craig Blackwelder, and Craig, thank you very much for the tip on this. I found this absolutely fascinating, and I think you guys will too. Now, this is in the realm of basically government and social media and monitoring. And if you are one of the 10 million people in the United States that are on disability, heads up, because this kind of involves you. Now, the Trump administration is currently looking for a way to be able to actively monitor people on disabilities' social media accounts. They actually started this process in 2019, and the Social Security Administration, according to the New York Times, and I've got some notes here, said they are looking to monitor this to see if this would increase the program integrity and expedite identification of fraud. And so basically what they're looking for, or what they're interested in doing, is if you are on disability, they would have hooks into your social media account, let's say Facebook, and so they could monitor it. So for example, if you're on a disability, let's say you hurt your back, and you're here, you are playing basketball or snowboarding or something that would not be conducive to a back injury, they can basically catch you and claim fraud. Now, the Trump administration is also saying that they should be able to push this through, even if it's executive order, by 2020. Now, I can see both sides of this issue. I mean, obviously, if you are a recipient of a government handout, they, I think, have the right to verify, if you are committing fraud or not. But I also think that there might be better ways to do this. Now, studies have shown that overwhelmingly people on Facebook tend not to, or social media, but Facebook in general, people on social media tend not to post negative things about themselves, like, oh, here's me in traction, here's me with my back, and all of that kind of stuff. They won't post pictures, but they tend to post social things like, hey, I hurt myself. So that doesn't necessarily do the government any good. The other side of this as well is that because it's social media, if the government, let's say, is monitoring one of these individuals on disability, then they might have access to the friend list as well. Does that mean that, let's say this friend says, or this person on disability says, oh, I'm going over to my friend Steve's house, etc. And now does the government have the ability to look through Steve's pictures for that time period? So I think it kind of opens up a can of worms, and a lot of privacy advocates are obviously not a fan of this. We also have other ways to verify that people are on disability, such as medical records from practitioners and all of that. They can get the hooks into HIPAA compliance in some way, shape, or form, which is a government entity in and of itself. But I'd be curious to think what you guys think about this. Is this a good move, a bad move? In some ways, I think this possibly could be violating the Fourth Amendment, but as I mentioned in a previous video from the other day, we don't have a lot of case law when it comes to things like surveillance, facial recognition, all that kind of stuff, because our laws were essentially written in the 80s when we didn't have any of this. So I'd be curious to know your thoughts, but that is your news of the day, and I thought that was pretty interesting. And if you're one of those people on disability in the United States, heads up, this affects you directly. And that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.